One of the biggest difficulties talking about Bethesda game studios and their troubling ways is the fact that a lot of people brush it off as Bethesda gonna be Bethesda. And it's a mentality that has become normalized, and I think a lot of people just don't care. But at the same time, they have been making games for franchises that are played by millions of people. And I've been singing this tune since probably, 2018, 2017, of that this is unacceptable, and they should get pushback for the way that they've been going about things. And 2025 really does personify that. I'm not going to completely crap on them. There has been some great things. Oblivion Remastered, mostly pretty good. Although even then, while they did revive that experience, a lot of people got to experience one of the best, Elder Scrolls games with a modern touch-up. It still has been a performance disaster. Like a month after launch, people were reporting just tons of problems, waiting for patches from Bethesda and Virtuous. I think that was mostly Virtuous, that outside studio that was working on that experience, and the main developer behind it, because Todd Howard in interviews in the years before didn't exactly sound like he wanted Bethesda working on any remasters beyond what they did with Skyrim, and that is what it is. But we did see, even just a couple of months ago, back in September, there was still lots of people extremely upset about the Oblivion remaster and the fact that there had not been enough patches and fixes to the performance issues that were on PC. Like, yeah, there was Steam reviews bringing up poor and unstable performance on PC. It's still well and truly a Bethesda game. That last sentence right there is just something that has become normalized within the gaming community, and it's beyond me because they haven't really done anything to restore the faith. Like, Starfield didn't totally transform things. It was just less buggy, along with a lot of other issues we'll get into as this video goes along. But even then, that is the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and a lot of people are looking to the future of Bethesda game studios. And one of the big things that they are working on right now is the Elder Scrolls 6. Fortunately, we did get confirmation just earlier in November that this game is not coming anytime soon. This was something that Todd Howard said in an interview with GQ. I'm preaching patience. The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off. Todd Howard warns fans, teases potential shadow drop. And I don't think he was really teasing a shadow drop. If you actually look at his specific quotations, it sounds like he wants to do what he did with Fallout 4, which was have maybe a big showcase during the summertime, and then maybe 4, 5, 6 months later have the game out. And it probably would do them good, a lot better than what they did with Starfield, which was have a massive presentation, and there was a year off, and there was a long delay between then. There was a lot of uncertainty with Starfield, how they went about that, and I don't think they want to repeat that. Now, with the Elder Scrolls 6, though, they have just enormous anticipation and hype that I just don't think is going to be reached. I did a recent video talking about everything that we know about the Elder Scrolls 6, and I'm still going to be excited because the Elder Scrolls has made up so much of my earlier childhood, and even here into my adulthood. I'm still of the mentality that it's not going to be the greatest experience, but I still hope that it delivers. There's just a little bit of ounce of hope in me, the optimism that will never leave my body, but at the same time, there's just all of the cues, all of the indication that it's gonna be a messy launch. We all know it's coming. And it is worth mentioning, we have figured out this last year that Alan Nanes is the design director behind the Elder Scrolls 6. He worked as far back as on Morrowind. He was also the lead designer on some really good Fallout, experiences like Broken Steel. He also worked on Nuka World, which was a-okay, as it was a good gameplay experience, but he also recently was the creative lead on Shattered Space, the worst probably piece of content that Bethesda has ever released. At $30, it was honestly totally unacceptable. So I don't know what this indicates of anything. I just really hope that the yes man, mentality that has been going on behind the scenes, especially in regards to Todd Howard and his wishes and his vision for these games, I do hope that goes away a little bit, but only time will tell. Even right now, many people are speculating that Bethesda is about to announce the Elder Scrolls 6. The Game Awards has been doing some tease for some sort of upcoming game. Some people thought it was Elder Scrolls 6 related. Jason Schreier, Bloomberg, well tuned in, just massive insider. He said it's not. But still, people are waiting. They think the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming in the next year or so. Todd Howard obviously gave indication that it's going to be a while from now. And it's really important to understand that this game only entered early development, got out of the pre-production phase towards the end of 2023. And there's been some leaks, some FTC documents indicating that the internal speculation is that this game will probably be ready for 2028, and I think that's probably right at this point. And Todd Howard, he did do an interview with Mr. Matty Plays about a year or so ago, and he talked a little bit about this, talked about the fact that the teaser that they released in 2018 was reaching its 6-year anniversary. This is just, it wasn't expected. They never anticipated that the wait was going to be this long, but it's here and it's now.
Now, and I've said this, the gap between, I think I saw this on the Twixter, that it's the 6th anniversary of us releasing the teaser for Elder Scrolls 6. It might be today.
Man. Really? Okay.
And so that did make me pause and say, oh, wow, that has been a while. And so
it was a teaser that was only announced because they were doing 76 at the time. It was supposed to give people an indication that they were still committed to single player, but it's one of those teasers that still people bring up to this day, like, why did they even announce it? And Todd Howard, in some other interviews over the last couple of years, has said that he wished he had gone about it differently.
Appreciate that wait. Like, I was talking about college football, like, and now that we're working on Elder Scrolls 6 and we get to see it here in the studio, you know, you do miss it. And so appreciate all of those thoughts and are with the fans on that. And we're working hard on it. And so.
Yeah, and missing it is one thing. It's also the expectations that have been growing and growing and growing. And it's almost reached a point that I almost feel like there's no way that they're going to be able to deliver the anticipation, the hopes that people have for this game. And Howard, in this interview about a year or so ago, did give indication of where the game is in terms of progress. This is what he said.
Like, how much were you getting done with it while, like, Starfield was in active development? Is that something you're able to speak on?
We do. We overlap a lot in those. Sure. We give our pre-productions where we're in design and concept and talking about something. And, you know, a lot of the Starfield technology is the starting point for Elder Scrolls 6. And then obviously we try to do another jump up in technology with looking at, you know, what's coming in the future. How do we do that and always be moving the ball forward?
Are you able to expand a little?
Yeah, he doesn't expand on this any further because the Elder Scrolls 6 is still in active development. It's probably right in the mid-development phase, and I just don't think we're going to be hearing about this game until maybe 2027, although let's be honest, it's probably 2028 at the earliest at this point, and this is all we got at this point. Will that change? I don't think so, but especially with Todd Howard talking about wanting to have a quicker reveal to release thing with the Elder Scrolls 6, but yeah, it's 7 years old now. It's crazy. It really is. Now, it does need to be mentioned, though, that they are still working on Starfield. This is an experience I think a lot of people wrote off. They're just like, okay, after Shattered Space, Bethesda has to be done. They have to know that there is not much care for this franchise. But no, they are doubling down. This is something that they indicated earlier on in the year. They said that they know fans were eager for more updates, promising an exciting year. That was in March. And that was followed up months later after the Xbox showcase, in which, Bethesda really had a no-show during that. And Bethesda broke their silence, saying, well, they had more exciting things to be announced in the coming months. This was actually something that was posted on Steam, and they said, looking ahead, we're continuing work on future updates, and we'll share more about the exciting things we have planned for Starfield in the coming months. This was back towards the end of July, and yeah, this is basically what Starfield has gotten. Just a couple of general fixes, not much more than that. But Bethesda has kept active with the Starfield community with, well, what you would expect. It's posts like this, new creation, and they highlighted something from the community that they financially benefit from, because that's all Bethesda is these days, it seems like. Besides their new releases, it's paid mods and their live service stuff with 76. But yeah, you can get $10, you get a new faction or something in the game. That's what Bethesda highlighted for Starfield year long, and yeah. But we did get some teases, especially with the 2nd anniversary. They teased the Terran Armada expansion. This is seemingly coming in the early part of 2026. I would not be surprised, maybe at the Game Awards or sometime in the next week or two, we're going to see some sort of official trailer announcing it. And we also did get this. This was the teaser video that they showed off. It doesn't show too much, but yeah, Yeah, so the screen fades a little bit, and the people have made out the words. It says Terran Armada. Maybe some sort of long-lost Earth faction comes into the fold. I don't know. Starfield needs to spice things up because it's become it's just notorious for being extremely bland. And they had that opportunity with Shattered Space with the mysterious serpent faction, and they really did nothing with it. But outside of that tease, we have also had leaks, one of which indicated that there was going to be space travel coming to the game. This is a little bit exciting because of the fact that Bethesda is finally doing things that they should have done from day one, but not being able to go planet to planet and stuff like that, it ruins the immersion that I think a lot of people feel with the earlier Bethesda experiences. It's what makes games like Fallout and The Elder Scrolls so appealing. And Starfield really turned into menu simulator. You've heard me over the last number of months, refer to that often as that, because that's what you're doing often throughout the experience. It's just going one menu to another planet, and it's just not fun. And they are at least trying to fix that up with the next expansion or the next update that's probably going to be coming in the early part of 2026. And Bethesda did tease this officially in a trailer that I think a lot of people didn't know, but a Bethesda producer, they were talking about their time at the studio. This is Tim Lamb, he's a producer at Bethesda, and he briefly, towards the end of this developer spotlight, he talked about the future of Starfield, and this is specifically what he had to say.
I think as it comes to Starfield, I'm really excited for players to see what the team's been working on. We have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features that players have been asking for, as well as a new DLC story. I can't go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding.
Yeah, that would be interplanetary space travel, which maybe it's going to be something similar to No Man's Sky, how you're going planet to planet. That would be the assumption that a lot of us have. And based on the code and such that has been leaked, that seems to be what they're going for.
We're also adding some new game systems and a few other smaller delights. There's also some really interesting stuff coming down the pipe from our verified creators. There's some...
And yeah, they're talking about paid mods there. But the thing is with Bethesda, this was... 3 months ago. We have not heard anything since. I just have to imagine before the year ends, we're going to have some sort of big reveal about their plans for Starfield. And I think that this has to be the last expansion. I just don't think that there's that much interest in Starfield. Even if this comes out and it ends up being pretty decent or good, I just don't think the gamers really care about Starfield like they do with the other franchises like Fallout and The Elder Scrolls. Bethesda has, over the last couple of years, really tried to say that Starfield's right up there with Fallout and it's not. It's just not. And that's reflected by the reviews and also the amount of people that have continued to contribute to this gaming experience. Like right now, you can go to Starfield's Steam page and it has continued to get lower and lower. 57% out of 100. That is just it's horrible. This is the worst reviewed Bethesda game I think ever. I think Fallout 76 even is like at a 70 or so. But if you look at the reviews, even just as of late, it's not terrible, but it's not good either. It's like drinking warm water from dirty glass. Waste of time, money, and resources. We are the customers and shouldn't be up to us fixing a broken game, which that has been Starfield. Another one, TLDR, don't do it, don't waste your money, not at any price. Space is very big, first space exploration. These are some of the positive reviews, I guess. But yeah, these are the mixed reviews. These are some of the recent ones, and even if you take this a little bit further out, it's a very mixed reception, and that has only continued. Can Bethesda totally change that mentality, the thinking that people have about Starfield? I think it's very doubtful at this point. And then even then, this is Shattered Space, the worst expansion that they have ever released, worst content, period, I think. And yeah, 28%, only 2,800 user reviews. I think that's a great reflection of the fact that maybe many people just had enough. They didn't want any more of Starfield, and they didn't want to even touch this expansion. And I would not be surprised that this is a thinking that carries over to the next one that comes out early part of next year. And it's not like they're going to be selling that for $5. It's probably going to be another $30 expansion. And if it's anything like Fallout 4, I would not be surprised, as they indicated even in some of the official comments like we just went over, that it's going to be focused more so on gameplay than anything else. And this is what Starfield is right now. About 3,000 24-hour peak. That is pretty bad, especially when you compare it to the likes of Skyrim and Fallout 4, which have dozens of thousands of players. And obviously, I understand that Game Pass and such still have players, but again, this had 330,000 players. 99% are now gone. That really does say a lot. And even then, look, beyond Starfield, they are working on Fallout 76, and they have this design of Walton Goggins, the ghoul from the Fallout TV show, and it looks like the burnt peanut for the streamer. No idea what was going on. Bethesda, this design Jesus. They had a massive expansion planned, alongside Fallout Season 2 for the Amazon show, and it's already been launching 2 issues. This is just Bethesda. This is what they are known for, and they just cannot stop with it. It launches a huge update, servers immediately crash. The Burning Springs update is here, but you can't play it yet because the game was down for almost a day or so, and people were extremely pissed. We had comments like this going viral on the Fallout 76 subreddit. The updating process is simply embarrassing. Downtime for 10 hours. It was actually more than that. Now that finally people can get in there's all sorts of bugs, game-breaking bugs, objects exploding in camps, objects straight up missing from inventory and camp, new zone landmarks not unlocking, and bugs on bugs on bugs. And I heard this one, especially the new zone landmarks, has been widespread to the point I'm forced to quit and wait something, a patch, or you just hotfix your crap together. This is Bethesda. This is just how they go about their game development. We are the beta testers, and it tends to be that you're going to have to wait weeks or months for these games to be fixed, and it's really sad, and it is frustrating, especially when they're updating older experiences like Fallout 4, and that also had the Anniversary Edition, which had added nothing to the game, let's be honest. The only thing it added was paid mods. That's what the big Anniversary update was about, celebrating 10 years of Fallout 4, and they celebrated with a bunch of paid mods, which is embarrassing, and it's upsetting to so many people, especially the modding community, which they did not want an update like this because the game's already a mess, and Bethesda adding a new update has added a whole new layer of problems. And this has been something that Bethesda has, they've been saying there's going to be a bunch of patches and stuff, and even then the modding community is like, stop the damage at this point. Please, Bethesda, stop it. And yeah, they've given indication they're actively investigating all of the problems. They've had various threads and stuff, especially on their Discord, saying that they've discovered all kinds of stuff that they're working on. They even outlined a roadmap, yes, you heard me fucking right, a roadmap for fixes, that some of which have already come about, and some that they're going to have to wait for into this current month of December. And yeah, 3 big fixes coming to Fallout 4, mod storage to increase by 50 times on Xbox soon. Why that wasn't there day one with this new update, don't know. But it was said here, Bethesda is quickly on the case, promising an important hotfix update, which has happened. And yeah, the hotfix for next week, which has already happened, stability problems, particularly on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, have been fixed. They also touched on issues causing creations that rely on DLC to not work, and they fixed issues causing DLCs to become uninstalled after updating the game on PlayStation. And yes, they updated the mod storage from 2 gigabytes to 100. And then yeah, another huge update is planned for the first half of December, but we know nothing about that one so far. And yeah, this was then they had a November 17th hotfix, which also fixed a couple of more problems that people had. And then they talked about, well, this was the November patch, in which yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that was fix. Crash and stability fixes, save, load, and profile. This is something that I ran into. UI and user experience, and yeah, the game was literally fine. All these patches and updates have messed it up. Bethesda used to be so much better than this. I don't know about that. This is a reputation that they've held. I think people just got normalized and they don't realize just how bad it was back then, but it has only continued into these modern days. The only common denominator is the fact that they're still running on their ancient engine, which I don't care what people say, that is a core issue with this, and there is no solution, because you're going to run to another engine like Unreal Engine 5, and guess what? That has its own fucking issues. So Bethesda, though, Gamebryo, Creation 2.0, this is going to be a problem with the Elder Scrolls 6. We all know it, and I just hope it's at least playable. We'll see about that later on, but yeah, this is the experience that people have been enjoying with Fallout 4 post the Anniversary update. Fallout 4 player loses 1,000 hour playthrough, updated Wrecking Ball. Another user, y'all effing This is Bethesda. This is what they're known for. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, new game, no mods, 15 seconds to crash. Yeah, there it goes to the Steam store. That's the problem with updating a game after 10 years. I feel like you have to give players a reason for that. And just adding paid mods, I feel like that is just such a slap in the face to this fan base, especially because they know the importance. They know that there's a massive modding community, especially mods that have not been updated in years, and now they're just totally not functional unless you can go back on previous versions of the game, which is something that the Fallout fan base has been doing for a while now. And yeah, $8 for a perk overhaul is outrageous. Again, the prices with these paid mods, that has been something that they've long been criticized for, and Bethesda and Todd Howard and such have kind of just scoffed at those remarks. And then, yeah, there was a new quest line, a whole beast thing. That the one problem that I've run into is that it's so hard to trigger this stuff in game or even find it. They added it very lazily. I know some other YouTubers such as Juicehead have done a much better job describing the issues, but a lot of the paid mods that they added to the game just don't even function properly, and they've been barely talked about by, gaming outlets and such, but it is a total mess right now. There's a new dog meat skin that they added, and it just runs off. It's all these little things that add up. And it's also, if you're going to be paying money for these paid mods, you would actually, expect them to properly play test it. But again, we are the beta testers. And ultimately, you just have to hope that Bethesda fixes it. Because with a lot of problems with Fallout 4, especially the problems that have emerged over the years, players have just come accustomed to, we have to create workarounds ourselves. And now these workarounds have been ruined with, well, a new update like this, which was just not necessary at all. And another problem, in the pursuit of a 30% accountability, mostly negative ratings. That is what Fallout 4 is still being hit with right now. Right now, mostly negatives, almost 7,000 user reviews. It's only 27% of them positive, and even in just the last couple of weeks, it has not gotten better. Modders built the soul of this game. Bethesda keeps trying to sell it back to us. Bethesda turned the iconic past apocalyptic game into pain in the ass for more money, and there's very few positive reviews here. Weird Dev's great game. The game is good, but F Bethesda and their effing mod breaking updates. Bethesda selling Fallout New Vegas mods to Fallout 4 players shows that what we can expect for the Elder Scrolls and Fallout in the future. Boo. And let's see, here's a positive one. Even with its flaws, it's a great game. Love the settlement building, which, like I said, a lot of the love for these Bethesda experience, it's always with a massive butt attached to it, and most of those butts are associated with the performance and the bugginess. And then, yeah, here's one of the top posts on the Fallout subreddit. Bethesda has no reason to keep breaking Fallout 4 when these updates do nothing to improve the game. No new updated textures or FPS, nothing. They only update to sell you digital garbage. CDPR would break a few things with each update to Cyberpunk, but it was immediately fixed because Red Engine versus Creation Engine, nothing more needs to be said about that. It was fixed a month later. Bethesda, on the other hand, is completely incompetent and tone deaf. Makes you wonder why they're a gaming company anymore. You can love 76, you can love Fallout 4, you can love the TV show, but there's no denying that Fallout as a franchise is absolutely mismanaged. No new mainline entry in a decade plus. A TV show that's good, but doesn't respect or properly show the true lore of Fallout, and as much as 76 has improved, it's just not for me. It's a shooter game. It is a shooter experience. People don't like hearing that. It serves a very different audience than the main Fallout game. Same thing with ESO. And a lot of others who want the single-player experience don't get on my post commenting how Bethesda has made Fallout popular again, or Bethesda cares about Fallout, or Bethesda does Fallout justice. They don't. This post isn't made for new fans that only watched the show and played 76. And like I said, I think that this just really reflects the overall feelings in the Bethesda community, which it feels like for the last decade or so, it's been a total civil war. And as we look to the future for, beyond the Elder Scrolls 6, this is what's on the horizon. We have another Fallout 3 remaster coming in a couple of years. There's been some reports indicating it's in early development, probably being worked on by Virtuous, the same team behind Oblivion Remastered. And based on the performance issues with that, this will probably be struck by the same problems. We'll see with that. I'm not exactly too crazy about a Fallout 3 remaster because it still runs fine, the current version. I don't know what they could add to make it a worthwhile experience. And then, yeah, there are rumors that a Fallout New Vegas remastered is on the way. Those are the Fallout games that we're going to be getting probably in the next 5 to 10 years. Fallout 5, let's be honest, it's probably not going to be coming until 2033, 4, or 5. Todd Howard has indicated he wants Bethesda. He wants that main studio to work on the experience, and their main focus right now is on the Elder Scrolls 6, which is a long ways off. So right now, Bethesda, this community is just collapsing, but it has been that way for a number of years now. It feels like whenever Bethesda does something right, or they have some sort of momentum, positive momentum moving forward, they just quickly squander it. And this is energy that's just, it's hard to ignore, but at the same time, it's a reason why so many people talk negatively about this studio and this company, because you have other RPG developers coming into this industry and setting a new standard or setting an old standard, and Bethesda is quickly falling behind. And I love these franchises. I want them to be done justice. I just have lots of concerns moving forward and many doubts. But anyway, what do you make of the current state of Fallout 4 and the future of Bethesda Game Studios? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video, or if you found any informative value. Consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'll see you later.